I'm going to look at, is it possible to predict tornadoes where the radar seems to be inefficient, or is proclaimed to be inefficient in seeing tornadic rotations on radar. Here's the 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, April 20th, 2017, and there was a tornado that occurred at 7:45 p.m. in Warren County, PA, where that red dot is. As you can see, this is a tornado risk. It's above 2% by the Storm Prediction Center, so it was not 0, and it was along a warm front. So the main things that meteorologists look for is shear. This is 0 to 1 kilometer shear, and as you can see, it was about 30 at 7 o'clock. So that's about 5 miles or 5 knots higher than you need to have to get tornadoes. Okay, we're going to look at a significant tornado parameter. This is fixed. It's about 1 at 7 o'clock in that area, which is decently high. And there was, let's see, an EF2 near Scranton in 2016. I think significant tornado index was about 1, a little over 1. I'm going to also look at the winds at 850 millibars pressure and 500 millibars pressure near the area. This looks like to be near Jamestown or Erie. That's 30 knots to the southwest, and about 40 knots due west. So that's a pretty good shear. That's really good, I think. And last one main feature that we're going to look at is heliosity, and we're going to look at the heliosity at 7 p.m. I'm going to just get everything that's at 7 o'clock. Try to do it that way so we can all be consistent here. And let me see here. Here it is right here. And as you can see, it's about 400 0 to 3 kilometer storm relative heliosity, and that's very high. You only need about 300 to be good to go for tornadoes usually. I'm going to look at some other things here. One of the things I like to look at is supercell composite. A lot of meteorologists poo-poo that, but I think if you have a 4 or over, it greatly increases your chance of having a tornado. And yes, it is 4 at 7 o'clock right there. Alright, right near that, where that supercell is. So let's look at some other things. It's another shear that's related to tornadoes. I think if it's above 60, it helps out in tornado formation. Here's a 60 line. This is 80, and this is 100. So that's pretty darn high. So the shear was very good that day. Let's see, I think we're also going to look at surface frontogenesis at 7 o'clock. So I've heard that frontogenesis really helps out in the formation of tornadoes with low cape environments. As you can see here, it's strongest frontogenesis on the map, it looks like, throughout the continental United States, contiguous United States. Okay, so now we're going to look at some radars here. Okay, we're going to look at, here's the Buffalo radar. You can see winds blowing towards the radar, the green, and away from the radar. And the Buffalo radar is south-south, or north-northeast to northeast of here in this general direction. So winds blowing towards, away from the radar. And this was at 6:57. And this is also another radar. It's Cleveland radar. This shows up much better. If it is accurate, this is much higher, a few thousand feet higher possibly. And you can see some very strong winds towards the radar and some decent winds. I'm sorry, away from the Cleveland radar and towards the Cleveland radar. The storm was moving about 30 miles an hour to the east, so this gray would be 30. And the way winds would be like 50 up to 60. Okay, and here again, this is a Buffalo radar. It's at 7:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can clearly see winds, much better structure. It's getting better organized. Winds blowing towards the radar, away from the radar. Possible shear or rotation right there. The reds and greens are almost touching, like right there, and right there. So even there it is possible that could be a tornado. Here again it increases winds towards the radar and away from the radar. And this could be a shear line blowing away from the radar into the storm. But again, it's possible you could have some tornadic rotation on that because that is a very high gate. Right here you see winds. This is at 7:14, as you can see right here. Away from the radar, towards the radar. And right here you see a couplet. That could be very well tornadic and most likely should have been tornado warned at this time. As you can see, here's the meso and the supercell. Here's the V with the highest winds in this line here. What this indicates, it indicates rotation, because as the winds start to turn here, really start to lose storm the relative speed as compared to where the base radar is. This is all these are level 1 base velocities. They're not storm relative. So any like greens could just be the motion of the whole entire storm and not really anything dealing with storm relative. And here's the couplet that I said, and that could be tornadic vortex signature, I think it stands for. Here you see the concentration. This is actually going back in time. Oh wait, no, it is going ahead in time. It has really backed off, lessened. This is still the Buffalo radar, but definitely you see winds away from the radar and even a red blip there, and winds towards the radar, the very light green, and this could be again indicative of shear, or it could be actually folding when the winds are even stronger than can be indicated. It does look like it loses some characteristics here. But again, here at 7:30, you see winds blowing towards the radar, away from the radar, in a very nice, tight fashion here. Yeah, there's a possible circulation there and a possible shear line. But a lot of times you will get a tornado somewhere around there, but it could be right there too. This one's doesn't look as good, but still a very, this is 736, 741, we're gonna, okay, here's where, now let's continue in time. It's got a 741 here. You can see clearly a circulation, vorticity core coming here. Possible tornado vortex signature right here. As the gate is pretty tight, even though the wind speeds might not be that extreme, just moderate. Okay, now let's go with where the tornado did occur, and you can see max vorticity core, very narrow, coming into the center of circulation, and this is a possible tornado vortex signature. Actually, there was a confirmed tornado and a tornado on radar, I'm sorry, on video 2 minutes earlier. And you can also see the hook echo associated with that tornado and the mesocyclone. And where is that? Sorry. Just be 1 second. I know I didn't go by it real quick. Just bear with me 1 second. And it's going to be 745. There was the tornado, as you can see.